I've totally screwed it up.
Good evening, everyone. How's it going? How's it going? As you can hear, Ped's breaking things already. Tight's here with me. What's up, boys? How's it going?
What's going on, man?
What were you breaking there, Ped? What's going on, man?
Oh, the window. I was rebroadcasting Tight Eyes' Twitch window instead of yours.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, welcome everyone. Good to see you all. See you all, boys. Some new faces in chat too. Hello, 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 hello. So yeah, basically we spent a bit of time this week. I mean, this whole week has been a New World week, right? So we've got the new trailer, the new patch that just dropped now. The content creators got to go through and play some of the expedition. It's been crazy. So we felt like we should redesign and give a fresh face to New World Wednesdays. So here it is. With actual help from the boys. And Altair too helped, and there was help from lots of people. So yeah, here we are.
We're going pro, aren't we?
We're trying to.
We're going pro.
Down here somewhere, we've introduced like a little topic section. So people who maybe join late or want to know what's going on all the time, well, you can see what's going on. So this is our little intro. Hey. We're going to watch the new trailer together, which I'm sure you've all seen, but let's watch it together again because it's bloody marvelous.
Absolutely amazing.
Like, I actually love it. And then I was very lucky and I got a chance to go through the new expedition. Well, I got to go through an expedition, not the new expedition. I got to go through Amrine Excavation and record my time running through it. So we're going to have a little watch through that together and try and pick holes in things, see what we like, see what we dislike. And that will probably take us to around an hour. So that will probably be our sesh tonight. Anything you boys want to say before we crack on?
Sounds cool. Yeah.
Nuka can just yourself. They have been part of the crew for 4 months.
Or lady boy,
Ahoy.
if I could even speak instead of Teresa. Oh, I like that. That's beautiful. When people keep subbing, people keep subbing, because then I don't have to look at Tight Eyes.
Sorry, mate. That's like right over your head, like the worst position.
I look like Dan now.
Oh shit, Lucho, thanks for your sub, man. So yeah, we've put kind of our roles with what we're gonna be doing in our company, in your company, for New World. So I am officially the governor and the hype man. Tight Eyes is introduce yourself, Tight.
Council and fisherman.
And Pet.
Console and your all-round tree surgeon. I can tell you what type of tree you need to cut down for what furniture you need to make.
Beautiful. All right, let me see if I have set this up correctly. I say this every week, but I'm always scared I'm going to break it. Woo! We're working. We're good. So, this is...
Mummy77 has gifted 14 subs to viewers.
So
Boomy, thank you, brother. Guys, sorry for the loud pirate song. Sorry, not sorry moment. Yes. Boomy, thank you, bro. I really appreciate that. Wow. Anyway, legendary. So, boys, if you haven't seen it, this trailer dropped yesterday. I'll shut my mouth. Let's watch it together, and maybe we can rewatch it again and pick a few things, because, yeah, there's a few great things in this trailer.
You need to turn your notifications off. We're so amateur. I mean, I'm much more amateur than you are.
Thank you for the follow, Var. We appreciate our followers, Ped. Don't be like that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly, man.
All right, boys, let's enjoy.
What is Eternum? The substance of legends.
There I am, yeah.
The pulse of adventure.
That's Pen.
The glory of triumph.
I think that was a pine.
Eternum is life eternal. And death incarnate. What is Eternum? The fires of destruction, rage and malice. Eternum is the truth behind nightmares. What is Eternum? That depends on you.
Dan hyped.
Shit! I've watched it about 30 times, and although it is what it is, right? It's a new world. I'm not fanboying. I am fanboying, but I'm not. It's the way whoever's edited it from like my real life background. It's like, oh shit, you have done a good job. Like, what do you think of it?
The trailer?
Yeah.
You're so hyped up, bro. You're like having to take a breath and everything. No, I like it. I like it. I was honestly, I let myself up to let myself down though. Well, as in, dude, that's a bit deep. No. So I was hoping. Truth be told, I was hoping this trailer was going to drop, and then they're like, you know what? We're releasing it early. Yeah. And then it didn't. But the trailer, no, the editing is absolutely amazing. Absolutely, like it's like movie tier editing, like, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Ed, you love it, of course, right?
Yeah, it's glorious. We need to get to July.
We definitely have a biased opinion of it because we are very hyped for the game and turning into kind of fanboys, you know.
Yeah, but we were hyped for the game in preview, you know. Let's be honest.
It's true. That is true.
If Greg had said you guys can carry on playing this for the next year, we'd have been like, sweet.
Sure, absolutely. Everyone else loves it too. Lucho, the more times I see it, the more I want to play already. The music, the gameplay. Hey, Swamps, mate. Oh boy, I'm hyped. Kiara's hyped. Everyone's loving it. No swearing from how wicked. There will be blood. So what I was thinking we can quickly do is we'll just go through it, kind of a little bit of frame by frame, not frame by frame completely, but for example, before I start, there's like Shere Khan in this trailer, right? So what's that about? You know, the tiger.
Tight Eyes is like, who's Shere Khan?
Yeah. Sorry, Tight.
Wait, what happened? Jungle Book, dude. What about Jungle Book? Oh, for Christ's sake! Sorry, I was reading my chat.
So, firstly, this just looks beautiful. I think we can all agree on that. We all love the environment. Great.
Oh, it is so glorious.
Substance of legends.
Oh, nice one. Why is that?
I'm going to skip forward to what I got excited about. This looks new.
Cheers, Hermes.
Can you see this guy's like? Well, a lot of this armor I think looks new, but look at the dude in the middle. Looks like he's kind of wearing a ghillie suit.
The pulse of adventure.
Do you reckon? Just sort of slightly, not off topic at all. Actually, do you reckon this is like because you can get gear for harvesting, right?
Oh yeah. You get yeah. So that looks like the lumberjack outfit.
Yeah.
And then there's the horticultural outfit for grabbing the for gathering hemps and stuff, where you got that funky
big hat.
Lucho pre-order outfit maybe.
Maybe. This was kind of interesting. So, I was reading on one of the discords that someone was talking about like more like dynamic world events that are happening, and this here has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people I can count. Just this has 6 people in it, which is obviously larger than the expeditions, you know, which is a 5-man crew. So potentially this here, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's something to do with a world event here.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
No idea.
Story of
That looks like a bit like the tree in Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Not quite as big.
Up north.
Up
Winter
north.
is coming. Yeah.
Right.
But I mean the game looks exquisite. I'm gonna have to hunt down a 3090 GPU.
Dude. So when we get to watch my video, if you haven't watched it yet, you'll see during my my playtime, I tried to record and export and whatever in 4K, and my computer's just like just like nah, this ain't working, constantly lagging. So I need a bit of an upgrade if I'm going to be trying to record such high quality, I think.
Yeah, it's a good reason
Good
to
luck
upgrade.
with that.
It's a good reason to upgrade. Is just try. Yeah, good luck getting your hands on a 30 series GPU.
So this is interesting. People were laughing and saying that this is the guy's pet. It's getting a bit weird, but this is really cool. Like again, I don't remember being able to kind of like have an emote that crouched, or whether that's now something that's coming into like the hunter class, or not hunter class. You know what I mean? Like the bow and arrow or something like that. So this was an interesting.
Is that
one.
some kind of wolf helmet as well? Wolf hat or something?
It looks like right on my mouse. It looks like there's a tooth here and the ears and stuff. So maybe you can kill a wolf, skin it, and wear it. That would be sick. More Game of Thrones
It could
vibes.
be the skinning outfit.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
It could well be. Yeah. That would be. Awesome.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Just to add to the shopping list of crazy ideas that we keep coming up with.
Yeah, we keep coming up with. This is the one for me, man. This got me like I blew up when I saw this. I'm pretty sure it's something to do with a cinematic, right? And maybe behind the story, but roll back a few weeks ago when we were talking about pirate ships and naval warfare and all this stuff. Pirate ship.
Isn't that the intro though? I think that's the intro to the game.
I don't remember seeing this. Maybe I don't pay much attention, to be honest. I have a bad brain, but I don't remember seeing this.
I don't remember that big wall though. Yeah.
That is the intro. Oh, how? God damn it! Really? That was in? Was it in the beginning, like in the preview?
Because remember, you go into that storm and then you crash, and that's why you wake up on the.
Let's not talk about preview too much, right? Because you were busy on the wrong server, so God knows what you were doing. The rest of us are playing together on the right server, and you were just off doing your own thing.
Do you know?
Where is everyone? Where is everyone?
Do you know what we've been watching Shadow and Bone, that new Netflix show, and this reminds me of The Void and them going into the void on their bloody ships. If you've watched it, sorry if you haven't.
On their land surfing ships. On the skates.
Yeah, I just don't remember this, and I got so excited by seeing this again. So that was my like really hyped moment. So okay, into the fold, the void, not the fold, not the void, the fold. Yeah, sorry.
Finger
sorry,
on the pulse.
Is life eternal?
But that is like, you know, the beauty of this game is it just looks exquisite.
Yeah.
Even their cutscenes, bro. Like the cutscenes are so.
This was cool. Like obviously looks like someone that was on the boat with us. Ship's down. That is such a cool scene, man. I hope we get to see more of this. It just looks mint. Lightning's a bit dodgy. Top right now stopped, but this here, I guess he turns into a bit of a meanie, doesn't he?
An evil priest, dude.
Again, I really feel like I should spend some evenings reading into the lore behind this all, since we're talking a lot about it. But also, it is what it is. Evening knocks.
It is what it is.
And death incarnate.
Obviously, this is from our Outpost Rush. As we know now, you can summon these dudes to help you in your Outpost Rush vibe. And this part here is just mega cool. I don't think there's anything special looking into the towns that's new, apart from it just looking great again. Like seeing the town is great again. Was that a Gatling gun? It is a Gatling gun, yeah. Repeater, is it called?
Yeah, the Gatlin repeaters.
So you can basically, if you don't know how these work, during the forts, like your territory wars, you can build these on your forts. But this is an Outpost Rush game mode, which is like end game PvP, and it looks like clearly you can use these in this as well, which is great.
Love the blue guy on the wall just chilling there, dude.
Yeah. This is cool, seeing some of the new armor, like the new cosmetics. This, like the dude in the middle here.
Go back to that last one, because when that flashed up yesterday when we watched it the first time, like the richness of the colours was awesome. That is.
Look at the old reflections on the helmet too.
I need that red wizard hat in my life.
Mate, it looks great.
I think it should be available on the merch store. when we actually have an official post-COVID Pirate Gaming UK meetup, we all have to come in character.
So have you, yeah. Have you seen the new dev video that they released today, Ben?
No, I saw it drop.
So
open.
Scott Lane is wearing a nice New World hat.
Oh no, you're right. I I flicked it on. Yes, a baseball cap.
I was like, Ben's gonna like this. Maybe there's the real spoilers there for you, man. The real spoiler.
I'm waiting for it to appear on the store. Come on, the store.
Again, some more cosmetics here. I don't really like these two. They're not my vibe. I like this dude here on the left. Looks fantastic. But it's nice that there's variety for sure.
That knight armor is just.
You reckon?
Phenomenal.
Do you reckon that's hinting at like armor dying and stuff like that? Or was that even in the game? I think that was in one.
I don't remember. But
you could dye all the clothes. I don't remember if you could dye the heavy armor.
Obviously,
I never wore heavy armor.
These are not faction colors, are they? So surely they're related to dyes and stuff. Armor dye has been in since Alpha. Brilliant. Yeah, we didn't really get involved in any of that stuff. We kind of like went to the town, bought our town, and then fought for 7 days straight.
Yeah.
You can mix different armor sets. Yeah, you could wear like heavy boots and then a light chest piece, for example, and it's all based around weight of what you're wearing. So if you're wearing 15 kilograms of weight, you go into a medium category. If you're wearing, I can't remember what it was, top of my head, like 35 or whatever, you become heavy, and you get different buffs and things from different weights.
I think we're gonna have a pirate gaming like dress up night maybe once a month where we all wear our pimped up out whatever outfit, we just wear a pimped outfit in the town.
Show our gear, do some role playing.
No idea, but they're showing their gear.
Be dressed as a fisherman.
So these are cool, obviously. Expedition footage looking great. I'm assuming this expedition footage looks like it is.
What is
She's looking wonderful. Must be down in Reek water, like a new Reek water lady.
Eternum? The fires of destruction.
So this is where I wanted to really get to and stop. Like, this is just crazy. I love it.
Yeah. Shere Khan, tight eyes. Shere Khan.
Oh gosh, there we go.
I don't know who Shere Khan is.
Dude, it's the tiger that's the villain in like one of the most famous stories there is. Jungle Book by
Alright.
Rudyard Kipling.
We could do a sesh one night and watch. Jungle
Yeah,
Book
we
together.
can read it to you on Twitch.
It's actually like I mean I grew up on Jungle Book and all that, so I didn't even think about it till here. But I mean this again, no real hints whether it's like a boss or just a creature in the wild or who knows what. Like it's just there. It's just a cheeky teaser that they're bringing in this, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
Imagine.
they had all the other
Lions.
different. They had the other cats, didn't they? Like the mountain type lions and striped cats, the white ones, didn't they? Or they
They-
the beige ones.
They did, yeah.
But this one does look epic.
Lions make things better, dude. All the
It's
time.
it's a tiger.
It's a lion.
Same
It's a
thing.
tiger, you madman.
It's a lion.
It's a lion dressed as a tiger.
Exactly. Thanks, man.
He's got cosmetics on, man. He's changed the way he
Head-
looks.
He's
Pet summoned by shouting the power of Grayskull.
I think that's a mythical beast. This
The-
one.
And they should have that as a tameable mount or a battle pet. We've discussed sort of mounts and pets in the past, and we think that when the map gets bigger, it would be kind of cool to have some sort of mount in, maybe in the form of a pirate ship. I'm not sure, but we'll see. It's a liger.
Rage
Thanks,
of
movie.
man-
More cosmetics there, kind of cool to look at. Again, it's all very colorful. Like everything's very colorful. Look
That's
at
what I was saying. I feel like they're trying to hint at the dye system.
them. Or again, like these could be related to like hopefully a cosmetics store to some extent.
So that have we talked about that before? Do we know that if there's going to be where you can buy in-game cosmetics? Was that ever been announced as part of the model?
Yeah,
It was it? I just
They've-
can't remember.
they've definitely said it somewhere that they will be putting micro purchases in.
But only for cosmetics, right? So just for pimp stuff.
I couldn't say that for
I don't,
sure.
I don't remember reading anything anywhere, but surely to generate some more money, they'll need to bring in.
Yeah.
something.
I think we're all happy with pay for pimped out outfits, but I
Pay
think
for pimp,
everyone's
yeah.
like, but it's the pay to win that everyone is mortified at the prospect of that ever appearing.
Yeah.
Rage and malice.
Oh yeah, I'll happily pay for some pimped out wizard gear. Maybe they'll
we-
do a Harry Potter outfit or something.
I think we just got a great shot into his mouth here. Look at that tongue. That is filth. That is filth. I love it.
Jeez.
Oh, mate, that is great. That's like the detail is amazing. Thanks for the follow, Tanel.
The tongue even has wrinkles, bro.
I know, like the detail is incredible. Then you get smacked,
Eternum is the truth behind
and a
nightmares.
fantastic end. Fantastic.
What is Eternum?
That's gonna be in my
That
in my
depends
hands.
on you.
So that's our sort of trailer that we've got yesterday, and then
Who's set? 'Cause hasn't Cal set that as their background?
Cal has, yeah, he's got it as his background.
Yeah, good work.
As he has. So what I'll do is I'll let my intro play. unless you have any objections, just to kind of give a background behind the expedition and how I got into it and whatnot, and then we can start pulling apart the Amrine excavation. All right. I have a very, very exciting video to show you. Say again.
Is this another video you've done?
So, are you
Another
joking?
video.
I have a very, very exciting video to show you today. Recently, I got invited along with some other creators to a special New World event where we got to try out one of their new expeditions, Amrine Excavation. I fixed it. Yeah, I literally got to log in to the alpha or a special patch, alpha, beta version, and run through the expedition with a few other creators. For you guys who don't know, expeditions are basically traditional dungeons. You take a 5-man team into an instanced zone and run through that zone. I believe that they've called them expeditions because so far all of the 4 that they've released all have sort of a well, like an adventure expedition type storyline to them, which I think is a pretty cool twist than just naming it a dungeon. The Amrine Excavation Expedition is a dig site just west of Amrine Temple, where the famed archaeologist Simon Gray and his team went missing. It's up to us as players to venture into the dig site to find out what happened to them and the ancient technology that they have unearthed. Okay, so leading up to this event, I was pretty hyped. I was very excited. I come up with all these grand plans of what I wanted to film. I wanted to show off, you know, the new inventory system, all the weapons that they were going to give us, the gems, the food, and just look through everything that's new. But in good old me fashion, I basically got into the game, was super hyped, very excited, and did nothing that I had planned to do. I was basically high on New World for about an hour and a half playing this expedition. So I was paired up with Evo Loz Gaming, who you all know from Conqueror's Blade, which we've been playing a lot. Kuro Lily, New World Engineer Butter Beanie, and New World Engineer Rick Axley. That's not actually their real names. So yeah, we were able to ask them a few questions as we were going through and just enjoy the expedition together. So normally I would pick a tanky class. Reason being, I can survive longer because when I'm actually in these fights, I'm a pretty bad player. What I tend to do is run around sort of screaming and shouting unnecessary things and become a bit of a hype man for the team. Hype man dad. However, since Evo and Rick pretty much took 2 tanky classes, I opted for the bow and the rapier and went
shouting,
as much damage as I could. Okay, so without further ado, this is my playthrough of the Amrine Excavation.
Oh, it's so funny, dude. You're just waddling your little legs afterwards to fight.
Let me in, boys! Okay, so we're in. I mean, we can play Spot the Famous Person. There could be some people here. Rowan, I've seen his name quite a lot in the New World team. But basically, this is where I landed when I got into the game. Basically, like it just spawned me in here. Obviously, everyone else looks the same too. We're in. So I my sort of, just to kind of give you a little bit of background, I basically managed to get into the game. I got invited to a party straight away, like this, and then in give or take 3 to 5 minutes, we were kind of like thrown straight into the dungeon. There wasn't like real pressure as such, but I felt pressured to kind of pick something quick, you know, and not make people wait for me. So I, because Evo and Rick both went sort of quite tanky. I just picked the bow. Like, I don't know why. I just picked the bow and the rapier because they both scale off the same thing. Hey, what's up? What's up, Rick? It was awesome. It was awesome to be a part of it.
I'm just basically picking anything at this point. Just something that sounds so cool. Fuck, I'm excited. Specs stats Oh, that Q move is beautiful.
So, boys, that's basically like this is entering a dungeon. That was showing off. I say showing off. That wasn't really showing off. That was me just like being a little child playing with this fucking sword. Woo! It was like it. What I instantly felt was that it was very smooth, and I don't know if it's just because I've just had, you know, we've had to wait so long to play it that now I'm back in. I'm like in a honeymoon period with the game. Do you know what I mean? Where everything just feels nice, even if it's bad, it feels good.
You still have the memory leak issue? Like, did you find that the frames and stuff like that would drop, or no?
No. Like actually playing it and being in game was really smooth, and you know the whole sound design again was really nice. But the issues that you see from like any lag coming up was, I think, some sort of issue my end with trying to push out too much data through my little baby graphics card. But playing it was beautiful, like lush.
Okay.
So Evo, I think, is playing with the. Sorry, Evo's playing with the ice gauntlet.
Mate, that looks amazing.
Oh, that's nice. That move. Oof.
I think he had to like stop for a minute and turn me down because you see, I constantly kept screaming in game. I was really excited, like probably ruining his video. But yeah, this is the ice gauntlet. Sorry, ice gauntlet skills here. Or some of them at least.
Mate,
but again, the animation's
amazing.
Fantastic. Greg says Ice Corner has some issues with performance that they're tracking. Okay.
Okay.
I didn't get to find the performance. I could have like used my bad play on that if I knew.
Well, as long as I can blast ice from my left hand and fire from my right hand when the game comes out in July, I'll be happy wearing my New World baseball cap and t-shirt and hoodie.
Loving it.
Then getting sacked because I haven't been to work for 2 weeks when I was supposed to.
Hey, look at that!
There you go.
You need to tweet that along with the frisbee as soon as the hat drops, so I can go and buy it.
So the next bit I was checking out, I think it's Butterbeanie's fire staff, and again, like I didn't really experience this close up because every time I saw it, it was in a war or in passing during fights. I never used it myself, so I get quite excited when I see it.
I love it.
Yeah, I feel underdressed.
And it just feels good.
Everybody's got nice clothes on. I'm wearing a brown sack.
An old rag. You've got a nice moustache.
It's crazy though. Just that, you know.
Thank you.
When we talked about it last.
You got the fire stuff
week,
as well, right?
It was a week ago.
Yeah.
There's, we're going to be busy. Like, we're like, when you throw in all of the things that are now in the game, and then on top of that, managing a settlement, dealing with wars, dealing with battlegrounds. You know, the expeditions. There's just it's going to be a much different. There's a lot more stuff going on than there was in preview, isn't there? Really.
Yeah.
And preview was pretty hectic.
Sorry.
So this is going to be cool.
I'm just turning off my You probably heard then I didn't charge my headset because I've been playing today and I've been just recording stuff. So if you heard a few disconnects then, but I think I managed to turn it off, so my bad. But yeah, no, absolutely, Ped. Like, absolutely. Device connect. None. And I mean, for them to drop another patch today, even just that, like trying to think about creating some content and trying to update all of our crew about what's fresh and what's new. It's like there's just so much happening. It's like we asked for content. Now I'm like, hey, hold on a minute. Wait. Take it back for a week.
We've got a couple of weeks, haven't we, to go through the big patch notes.
There's a lot.
So, and then there's obviously another one now.
A bit of a shout out to the New World fans site because they've updated all of the weapons. So obviously when they went into this experience, they were doing good things and not just playing with pure excitement like a child. They actually brought out some information from this session. So you can check out their site and they've got all the skills and all the spells there, which is just awesome, especially for us to look at as a company.
Yeah.
Bow and the spear. Bow and spear. They had a mission indeed. So again, like I just got really excited because I saw the fire staff here, like close up, and the detail on the fire staff. I don't remember it being like that. That sort of crisp. It felt crispy. Felt beautiful.
Yeah, I don't have
What are we talking about here? The game or something else?
like any stats.
And then I think we pretty much get into the dungeon in a minute.
Because I figured, well,
After,
it's staff,
messing
and
about
I
here.
like staff.
It looks cool.
I know it looks cool.
I don't remember it being that way. It looks wicked.
That one's the best. Nice. Okay, cool.
So this was the achievements tab, which I sort of assume that it's not fully ready yet. Like it feels not finished. Do you know what I mean? So
it definitely looks
this
like
is going to get a bit of
placeholder.
love, but this sits across with your attributes, your weapons mastery, and your trade skills here to see your achievements, which is nice. So we got some PvP achievements, which I think we spoke about together before. Look at how I've stopped that video on my face. I just oh, I'm such a loser. So missions, general progression, quests. Yeah, looking good. Any idea what you think the
What
player
menu
v
was that?
player stuff will be? Say again?
What menu was that you popped?
Achievements, that one is.
No, but what was it that brought that up? Because that whole GUI is new, isn't it? We didn't have that lay down of bio attributes, weapon mastery, or did we? I can't remember now.
Yeah.
I thought it was different.
This I believe was all here under your character tab, but now there's the event, the achievements tab on the right, which is really great.
So do you think the player v player is when you go into those PvP
That one's the
instance?
best.
Nice. What, the achievements?
Yeah, or do you think it will take duels as well?
I think it's going to be everything. I think they potentially
Like
will
you
have.
just kill someone that's PvP flagged, it will register.
Possibly, yeah. I remember like back in the Guild Wars 2 days, you had an achievement of killing 500,000 players or something like that, and you become the ultimate dominator, and you get a really cool title off the back of that. But yeah, I think it'll be sort of worldwide.
I love the achievements, man. I love that. I love that they put that in the game. It just gives you something to grind, when you're the best.
Yeah.
How many days?
This was quite funny. So we looked at all the crafting stuff. Everything was at. I can't remember. I don't remember. Don't think these were full. The gathering. I think before it went up to 200 and something. I don't know if that's changed, but they left fishing at 0 It made me sad. Like, why is it a 0? Everything else is up.
Be like that.
Gathering went up to like 350.
Yeah, I remember it being quite high.
Well, I was on level 300 on my hemp gathering, harvesting.
Yeah, I don't know if this has changed. I didn't click for anything. I just got.
It's not. They probably just haven't set up the ranks yet for fishing, right? Because it's such a new mechanic in the game. Maybe. I
Possibly.
hope.
It's been there for
Please
a while,
add
though.
levels for fishing, please.
Yeah, we need them.
Oh, there's all new stuff. Yeah. Okay, so far, okay, we're heading into the first zone now. Let's
Yeah,
go.
that'd be good. Well, thing is, but why? Yeah, exclusive skins with actual buffs on them as opposed to just cosmetic skins. But you get them obviously from completing that sort of strand.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, this looks fantastic.
Maybe you get some like high quality cat go with your fishing rod.
Lucy, I am obsessed with
big,
fishing. Yes.
So the one thing that's like instantly noticeable is just how fantastic it looks inside. So all the lighting and things, it's just beaut, man.
Okay, I'm just gonna.
It
It
is
is.
lush.
Oh, this new weapon is so cool.
I smashed my sound effects up high. So we can
Good in-game
embrace them.
sound. Now you can shoot through allies. Let's go.
Bicycle
Noticed-
action.
I noticed they enlarged the loot bags. Like they used to be smaller than that in the preview, like way smaller, from what I remember. Like they weren't that big.
How you say it, like it looks big, yeah.
Yeah, and they're colored now with rarities. Before it was just a little white bag,
Weapon is
right?
so cool.
Like, good in-game
Yeah, it
sound.
was like shining
Down.
blue ambiance.
Do you think
There's
that's,
more as we come through, so we can double check that at some point.
Do you think that's specific
Now you can
to
shoot through
doing
allies.
an expedition dungeon as opposed to what drops out in the open world?
So
Or do you think it's the same for all of them now? Because you don't do any open world stuff on this, do you? It's all in the dungeon, isn't it?
for me, yeah, it was all it's all inside the dungeon, yeah. Were you asking about the loot inside the dungeons there?
No, the loot bag. I was just wondering whether, because remember when the loot dropped outside in open world and preview, it had a white gold shimmer as opposed to a blue shimmer.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering whether they changed the shimmer so you can see the loot bags more clearly everywhere, or whether it's specific to the dungeon.
I'd say it's just globally that they've done that. It makes sense in any loot game, right? When something pops out of an enemy, it's going to be colored, you know? I think I think that would be the better way to have it anyway, personally. But
I again, my as you all know, my memory is terrible. But seeing this again, where you've got the debuffs on the enemies there, looks really
Yeah.
nice.
Oh right, wow, you can actually see them.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Spiv?
Ah, the spin.
Looks like they pull action.
Oh no, we got rescued.
Spiv,
Was
you
there-
missed it, Spiv. There is a hat on its way to the merch store.
Oi. So this again is the sort of starter zone.
For reals.
Instead of Barbini or Rick actually showed us a nice little jump
Love
here.
it.
I felt like so much pressure there I was going to fall off.
Yeah, that's we're good.
Wish you had like properly been rubbish, and they would have been all like, "Who is this guy?
I should have just like tumbled over the edge, shouldn't I, and fell in.
Where did they find
Oh,
this
no!
guy? Leader of pirate gaming. Well, they're gonna go really well in the game, aren't they?"
So the one thing to note during this is that we were level 30 and the dungeon is level 25. And this leads on to a discussion we had before. I was led to believe that if you are level 60 and you come back into a dungeon, that your experience in that dungeon will level with your level. Apparently that's not the case. If you come back into this level 25 dungeon when you're level 60, it's going to be pretty easy.
It's obviously it's not going to give you any XP though, is it? Because you only get XP if you're 5 levels above or below.
No.
So it'll be totally pointless.
Apart from maybe drops, like if there's particular drops.
I guess if there's I guess if there's unique drops that are,
Yeah, but if there is drops, are they going to be dropping at level 25 or 60?
that's it, right? So unless it drops like arcana or jewelry or something like that doesn't have a level associated with it, just gives you a decent buff, then that would be cool. But yeah, going in here as a level 60 hero would be pointless, wouldn't it?
There could also be the materials for crafting and stuff.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. If there's things that are worthwhile going and getting gems, jewelry, stuff for making.
I suppose I would prefer it that way, to be honest, if that was the case, because if you're level 60, you can farm it easier. That's basically all I'm thinking about.
You should be able to solo it if you're level 60, surely.
Yeah. Well, I say yeah, but I doubt it.
Sorry, my headset's playing up, so if I ignore you at any point, I'm trying to turn it back on. Standard. Me.
Mate, it's alright. I had my stream up with no sound. Hermes pointed it out to me. Like standard sound production fails.
One thing I didn't do when running through here is because I was just excited to kill things, was look at sort of the scenery inside, and it is very well made. Like, it's really cool. They have also announced that there will be 6 expeditions when the game releases. So currently there's 4, so we've got 2 more to look forward to find out what's coming.
Awesome.
Which is nice.
But also, I guess the beauty, depending on how much effort it takes the team to develop them, expeditions are one of those things you can just keep adding, right? In terms of content.
Yeah, it is. They can add new mobs and make that particular expedition replayable, or just keep adding more and more and more. To be honest, there's nothing wrong with that. Did you, when my headset was bust, did you respond to Bratva with the whole mob level requirement piece?
We have not.
Well, no, but remember the patch notes say that fighting any mobs, it's not going to be relevant. It's going to apply globally, isn't it? If you're in a group, then you can only fight mobs if you're 5 levels below or above. Otherwise, if you're fighting mobs that are 5 levels above you, you'll just get one-shotted. And if you fight mobs that are 5 levels below you, that's the limit of XP gain, isn't it? So it's not like you're gonna unless there is a reason to revisit these dungeons because you get unique drops in the dungeons, and that's why you would be going back to them at whatever level you are, even if you're level 60 plus or whatever.
Yeah.
But
the level requirement for this dungeon, was 25. We were in there at 30.
Yeah. Which is at the top end of the XP gain.
Yep.
Good. Satisfying. Feels satisfying.
You just chat rubbish throughout this.
Around the corner back here, and they're just gonna keep spawning unless we kill the hive.
So, what Axley was just saying then was this, what looks like a hay bale in the background. They've called them hives, and these are dotted throughout the expedition. We've killed it already, but what that was basically is a spawn point for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, was it Axley or Butterbeanie that said, I remember watching it, they said, you need to come and kill the hive, otherwise they'll just keep spawning endlessly.
Yep. So there you can see, like, I got access to use all the weapons that are there. Tools as well. Gems, jewelry, all that goodness. Food, which obviously I didn't eat. Standard. 50k gold, and everything else we needed.
I know you could farm the NPCs. They just keep spawning. In theory, right? Unless are the dungeons? Is there a time on the dungeons like there were when we played in preview on some of those other ones?
Not that I know of. I think it was just based on, you could take 10 hours to go through if you wanted to. There was no time pressure elements
So we all have it.
that I noticed.
We get different stuff. Like I got a green great axe.
I was lucky, so I got the blue one.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh,
Look how his if I shoot him first, he just
get different
comes
stuff.
at me like
Like I got a
through
green
everyone
great
else,
axe.
which is great.
I was lucky, so I got the
Surprised
blue one.
Tight Eyes isn't
Yeah.
gonna start a new world with a bow character now after his
Oh, deep cutting. Yeah, so
without
they come straight.
experience.
The bow
Oh,
is actually
really?
really fun, man.
Don't even talk to me about Hood right now, dude. I'm so over that game.
Oh wow!
That's one of the.
One of the really cool things was, obviously, it sounds silly when I say it, but seeing the arrow, and if you shoot the dude in the head, you see the arrow stuck in his head. It's just cool. Those shots, boys.
Oh, look at you go.
The spread shot, or whatever it's called, my F ability, instead of it instantly going out now, it fires forward and then spreads, which
Welcome
is
to
kind of
the crew, Rook and Wolf.
Yeah, it feels good, man. It feels good.
So there you go. I've just got an achievement there. On a reaving road. No idea what it means. I didn't even look at it.
Achievement unlocked.
Or did I?
Kill these, let's have a look.
I did look at it. Okay. So defeat 25 lost enemies. Defeat 25 lost enemies. Okay. Same thing. I think they need to work on this overlay a bit, but that's one of the PvE achievements right there.
It does look.
I wonder if
kind of
the missions relate to doing, like the town missions and things that you get, the faction missions, the town missions. Maybe there's 140 of them in total now.
maybe.
Yeah,
ones.
quite possibly, yeah.
Let's have a look now.
Oh,
I feel like this screen needs a bit of love. Feels a bit
You're not plugged it
bare
in.
bones compared to
plugged in, yeah.
Oh, nice. I got like 2 gift drops.
UI on these.
Just been a dick.
I guess it's a work.
Does someone want to do the honor of opening the box?
No.
Can do. Go on, mate.
Peace out, banana.
Good night,
Hi,
bro.
dude. Some Z's.
Whoa.
Cool.
Sound effects on the door opening.
Smokes in.
I can,
Want a documentary on this game's sound design? I want to know what they do to get their sounds. I genuinely do.
Proper.
Did you ask Rick Astley to do that then, or did you just cut the video and loop it and then add the music?
I didn't loop anything. I just added the music over it. We were just having a boogie, That was it. Just having a little dance.
Has he seen that you've now Rick-rolled it?
Guy right in front of us.
So this room was one of the first kind of puzzle rooms that we found. We were actually talking about this, I think, last week or the week before, about the pressure plates and how they would work. We now know.
Oh, I missed that bit. I wasn't paying attention.
We're, as you said earlier, we're 5 levels ahead.
The answer is you just stand on them.
I feel like if you were dead on,
That's
Isn't
it.
that what we thought was the right answer?
Yeah, I think we thought that was how it worked, but we were
think about what you're doing.
coming up with these crazy ideas how each symbol meant something and you had to find it throughout the dungeon. And
Well, that was the puzzles conversation, wasn't it?
yeah,
So that could potentially still unfold.
oh god, could be a thing. But this is, remember that, again, this is a tutorial
Nice heels, better.
tutorial dungeon. Hey, there we go, Ty. So it's a green for a green,
Yeah.
blue for a blue. Nice.
Ah, cool.
Serious. If you've got an inventory full of greens,
So-
you can just leave them now. You don't need to pick
So-
it up if you don't want.
Orange for legendary.
Hey.
It was pink epic, wasn't it? Purpley
Yeah.
pink was epic, wasn't it? Yeah. Cool.
It's so much damage that rapier, man. Beautiful.
That's gonna add so many heart-pounding moments when when you're sat somewhere farming some mobs, and he drops a legendary and your PvP flagged, and then you die, and you have to watch your orange bag while you respawn.
Okay, so this panel is locked, and the objective says use the Azaz staff to translate the Azaz scripts. in
I'm
the
gonna sell my
activated
roommate's
tab.
TV to get this. Fantastic.
That's a good move.
Notice me being me. Straight up, just kiting the big guy.
The evil smile.
Like that video of you we watched earlier on where you're being a douchebag shooting a policeman in that game.
I love it, mate. It's so good.
Oh,
I wish the monster had come up there and just blatted you in one shot. It would be glorious.
Barbini carried, man. Carried me big time.
Kept healing you.
Yeah. The one comment that's come in a lot from the YouTube video is this dude here looks pretty much identical to the end boss. So hoping that there is some changes
Basically,
with
I
that,
played the preview,
and it's not just an increase of health for the final guy.
Yeah.
Same size and everything, is it?
No, so it's bigger, basically, bigger and healthier, more health.
Do you mean the end game boss that was in preview?
No, this end boss here on the dungeon.
Oh, right, okay. I was going to say it looked nothing like the end game boss.
What you smoking?
Yeah. Oh,
So-
look at that. Greg's just laid it down. That's glorious. More variety in the
Fantastic.
bosses for X-Beds. Excellent.
That's one of the comments that have come in a lot from like me sharing it on Reddit and whatever.
Cap. He's probably going to drop the fart or something.
I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know. But that was the big feedback that I got. Really was, yeah, the mobs seemed very very similar throughout. But again, to be able to pull all together 6 expeditions pre-launch is epic.
Cool.
And
Yeah, but
finds
look at what Greg said. They've listened to the feedback and they're doing stuff about it. So that's awesome.
wicked. Yeah, I think that's really good. Like it's at this point in time, it doesn't matter so much. It's such a small detail. People still get to get in and fight and you know, kick some butt and it's all going to be great fun. And then in 6 months' time, they might, you know, they could redo a particular expedition and say, look, Simon actually looks like Simon now, or whatever, you know. And again, that's okay. I think people are gonna be fine with it. Oh man, Maniac! I didn't pick up any of that stuff. I was supposed to get some pictures of the food, some pictures of all the weapons, all the animations, but my time was short. I waited. I think what other people did, they joined the preview or the event earlier and did what they wanted to do. I waited. I was scared. I waited for the go, and then I joined. And then when I finished, it was kind of a okay, boys, you got a log now because another group's coming through.
But to be fair, Sir Medieval's done a pretty decent video, hasn't he?
He smashed it, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely
So
smashed it.
That's definitely worth a look, for sure.
As you saw in the trailer, we love the trailer. There are some new interesting exhibitions. Yeah. Yeah. Very, very excited. And the one thing I've been trying to tell people is that this is like a tutorial dungeon, right? It's the entry level. The replayability of this is probably very small compared to the level 60 dungeons and whatnot, which is probably where most of the energy's gone to. But people don't think like that. They're like, oh, give us bigger and better bosses like now. But I've been trying to reinforce that message. But yeah, 100%.
Remember, your group's level 30 in here, right? And you've got some pimped weapons. And as we'll see when you actually get to the big boss, it's not easy with the 5 of you at level 30, right? So imagine you've gone in here with a group of level 25s. It's probably actually quite a tough expedition.
Yeah.
And you might not make it out after the first attempt.
It's true.
So that's what I wanted to ask, actually. Expeditions, is there like team wipes or is there checkpoints in the expedition or what? Like when you die, so there is, okay.
Yeah, so I think I don't know if I've gone past it, but basically there's like respawn points. So you kind of, essentially a checkpoint. You hit a checkpoint and you'll see at the end, 2 of the girls get beat down by Simon Gray at the end and basically have to sit outside the final boss until we either wipe.
Oh, really?
Or, pretty much.
Okay. That's an interesting mechanic. Okay,
Yeah.
I like that.
So there's definitely some opportunity to Leroy Jenkins expedition. So we're going to have a Pirate Gaming Leroy Jenkins moment. Just because.
Yeah, and you were
We'll
slightly
do it with Spivster, so she gets super angry. She'll be like, God, you bunch of douchebags.
You fools!
This is not how we do it in WoW.
So Greg just confirmed that we were slightly over-leveled for this expedition because we had all types of people. Yeah, there wasn't just kind of. I like to see myself as a pretty good gamer. I know you guys take the mick out of me, but I'm not that bad. All right, but there was.
You do it to yourself, bro.
Shut up. No, there was a lot of sort of press and people in there that maybe don't play off as often as we do, so it makes absolute sense. But I mean, I still nearly died. Well, I did die, and thank you, Evo. Thank you, Evo, for pointing that out. Like in his video, I was like, "Oi, what are you doing? Don't show this, mate." Oh, brilliant.
That's the leader of Pirate Gaming right there, dead on the floor
in an expedition.
He's brown bread.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh yeah.
You're tired as hype, man. No more, no less. Absolutely. That's what I'm gonna live up to. So again, we spoke about this previously, boys. It is just in this particular expedition, anyway. It's just you just use it. That's all you do. And it then, if you watch top right, it activates the next part of the quest, basically.
Nice.
Ta-da.
So we translated the seal.
What's it? Any idea what of vestibule? Find the broken vestibule is.
Vestibule?
Yeah.
Never heard of that word. I'm Irish.
Me neither. I love English.
It's like a vestibule is like a container you put something in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not just enjoying the
I
game,
could be-
boys.
I
We're
could be
learning.
completely wrong, but I'm sure it is. It's something you was like a roomed area. I thought you know, I don't know.
That's all right, mate. New World is educational here as well.
Good effort, Ben. Good effort.
Oh, I like that. It makes sense, right? It makes sense.
But it's normal because you put something in a vestibule, so it's usually a room of some sort. Like, I thought you used to put. You know,
It makes sense because the rest of
dead
the
people in vestibules, a bit like you do in a what are they called that rich people have, where they bury their dead.
Oh, mate, I've actually got a video, like an RL video coming up of a crypt, whatever.
A
whatever
crypt,
they
yeah,
call it,
like crypts. It's like a room.
Oh.
Which makes sense because it says the Azov script indicates a power source is located in the chamber.
Welcome
which
to the crew,
makes sense to
Clara
what you're doing.
Nicolay.
Alright, fair.
So it would seem.
Moomy, thank you for the gift for Kiara. Very kind, mate.
Vestibule?
Although, according to the dictionary, it says it's the room or passage into a room. An enclosed area at the end of a.
Okay, so find the broken vestibule. Alright.
An antechamber.
This guy, this dude was very cool to fight. The big orange ghost type legend, very fast. If you didn't smash him in the corner like this, he's gonna get you.
Oh, probably a hive of them.
Got butter beanie with those heels.
There's the nest or the spawn point. It's a withered nest. You hay bale.
Mastermind's making some big statements. He's gonna get himself the top tier title for dueling.
Ooh. We don't really do dueling here. We are a 5v5 team as a minimum. Teamwork, baby. No.
And now you can see him PvP dueling tight eyes. See who gets the title first.
Anyone wants to challenge me to duel, I'm down. I'm gonna record it. That's all I'm saying.
We're also going to record it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just remember, things will never leave when I win.
I'm gonna take side bets on you getting your ass kicked.
You can do. You'll be one poor man after it.
Oh yeah, we'll see.
This is the vestibule, I think.
Is this
Just-
the final room?
Easy, let's try and cut everything on the map.
This is where I just start trying to shoot everything I can. Giggling like a child there, just
What?
trying to have fun.
Yeah.
I'm amazed. Could you fall off that edge? What's down there? Would you have died?
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
yeah. We're gonna.
Fighting all the NPCs.
Anymore. Bit in the middle of it.
You know, when you kill enemies in this game, and that mist that they give off is just so satisfying in itself. And they just
Doing a test
dissipate.
of how much I can kite.
So good.
Here we go. Stop talking about. I feel like they aggroed onto the healer then. Really
It feels like it's gonna be replayable just for this sort of style. You know, it feels satisfying, like killing things in the game. I know it sounds weird.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it feels good.
they are smart. Zombie.
It is kind of crazy if you were to put like just the PvE content alone next to old preview footage. The difference, like the fights are more like animated now, obviously, because it's not just stun lock after stun lock, right? When you hit them, like things are actually happening. There's attacks coming out from all of them.
I was just waiting here to see if everyone wanted to come back or if we don't watch. This is kind of cool. Again, the animation.
To come over
looks
or not.
fantastic.
But it looks cool.
That's our power source. That was awesome.
Just spawned more mobs. Oh yeah. Actually,
Nobody wants to come help you there, Dan.
I got this. I got this.
I guess the sound effects is like actually trying to hit and go.
Beanie with the heels. What a hero. Oh, love it.
Come on, Butterman with the heels. Yeah. Oh!
Some
So
nice
the
gameplay.
next step is
Are
activate.
you wearing light or medium armor?
Medium. Well, I'm at the medium category.
Okay. Was that a combination of light and medium armor that you actually had on?
I think so, yeah. I can't remember off the top of my head. And obviously, I managed to put the shield on my back too, just because I had space in the weight category. So this is cool. I wanted to come back to this because the sound design again on these plates going in is just
So
lush.
the next step is activate the character mech. Okay. So there's, I think.
Sounds good.
Did you see any more of those?
Free, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Here.
Got one.
So in this particular room, you had to
Oh,
set off
puzzles.
all the free pressure plates at the same time to spawn
I'll
the
go take
bridge that
the
comes.
bomb.
I'm pointing on my screen. It comes in the middle here, up here.
Does everyone having to stand on a plate at the same time?
I think there was 3. So
Oh no!
this particular
Holy
dungeon,
shit!
you would need at least 3 people.
There's a trap.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
It didn't really work. Ah, shit!
This is where my lag was coming in. This computer was like, nah.
Healers.
Yeah,
it's reloading.
tanks generally draw aggro. There's certain buffs that you can give yourself to draw
Oh,
aggro.
Beanie with the big heels there.
Get up! Oh, heal me, butter!
So yeah, it's quite easy. Even being high level, he could still hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, why do I get the big guy, man? Thanks for the heals.
Oh wow. I fell, but
But you didn't die. Yay.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if Lily got pushed or she fell off here, but it was kind of cool because it then led us to.
Yeah, I think if you jump
Yeah, I
all the
think
way
we
down
can come
into
back.
the water, yeah, there's like a staircase.
Try it. Woohoo!
I think there's even like some.
It's always satisfying.
Look, there was a life moat over there and you didn't pick it.
Definitely needs swimming, man.
Oh, it was a spark. Is it spark?
Which one's that? The
That plant there is a moat, isn't it? Or is it one of the spark plants? I think it might be a spark plant.
I just run straight past it.
Oh, you didn't even look at them, you clown.
So Evo called that he found a chest at the back of the waterfall. So I was like, "Ooh, shiny!" And I just ran straight to the chest. But this is cool. Things like this again, sort of hidden things throughout the expeditions. It'll be great.
Elite supply chest.
Second hat cloth.
Oh
thing.
wow, yeah,
Yeah.
that would be good.
Luke Goblin.
Nice. Love it. Even with the tricks.
So if you haven't seen it yet, there's the go back. I'll show you the weapons.
Even with the trick.
So these are the current weapons in the game, and it's been confirmed that these are the weapons that will be in the game for launch. So stretch sword, spear, bow, fire staff, life staff, musket, great axe, rapier, hatchet, warhammer, ice gauntlet. So it would make
Nice.
sense that there's going to be one more one-handed weapon, one more two-handed weapon, two more ranged, and one more magic weapon. That's what I would assume. Hey, with more to come. Hey.
Flintlock pistols.
You could just scroll down that screen, so you could have 10 in each.
You absolutely
field.
could. Yeah, there could be much more than this. I hope the theme. Personally, I hope the theme stays. You know, not too much magic, but I love this. I love, like, you know, old school fighting in it. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
You want a ball and chain.
Like the old schmack.
like a mace
Yeah, ball and chain would be
Yeah.
epic.
or whatever they're called. I want like dual flintlock pistols.
So all the armor we picked up was slightly lower in gear score than what we were given at the start, but obviously we could have used this and popped the gems on. But I didn't want to mess around asking people to wait while I faffed about reading.
I feel
This was cool. This I don't believe this is a item in game. This is just, if you read it, testers are encouraged to mix and match their gear and even omit filling some gem slots to have an experience more closely represented of the average players. So this was just quite cool that they put a message in the game for people playing the event.
I feel like I've played this expedition so many times and I never knew about that chest.
It's like a sort of a hidden little. It's like an Elder Scrolls type thing to do. Put a chest.
Yeah.
It's where you'll start to see a bit of lag, so I
Nice,
apologise in
kinda
advance.
rewards you.
Yeah. Sound effects
Ugh,
again.
okay,
They've
there's a bunch of
smashed the
baddies
sound
out
in this
there,
game.
including a bat.
Sorry, my bad. I was just enjoying the sound design of these plates.
Yeah.
Wicked.
So here's the bridge that we activated by standing on those pressure plates.
Load this beast in. Shotgun. Ah! Nearly went off.
Oh god, that really frustrates me watching back this.
I feel like double range is good if you've got pure damage. Need to test.
Getting like a little bit harder.
Nothing really special at this point to chat about. It's just kind of gameplay. I think the next part we go into is like a mini boss,
Oh, the arrows in the
pre-boss. Woman Nakashima.
head. Oh!
This part's really cool. So from a sound design point of view, boys, listen to how I'm shooting outside the bow.
Oh, the arrows in the head.
The sound, and watch what happens when I go inside this closed area.
Oh!
Wow, the soundtrack, guys.
Yeah, the sound is really good. Did you hear that?
Yes,
It's like I was in a cave.
Yeah, it's got some good
No.
reverb on it.
Yeah, again, it's like a minor detail, but just like, oh,
It's so immersive though. Like the difference that would make, like, just
Yeah,
the difference in space changes the noise. But I think it was like that. Some parts in the preview, it was like that when you went indoors from the outside world, there was still some really good sound transitions. You know, in most games you'll go through into a house and there won't be that much of a difference.
Yeah.
Like in just a normal house sitting out in the open. In the sound design, in that you could tell you moved into a different space. Like you were in a different. Like it was a different feel every time you walked into something.
Yeah.
Like the echo.
Merty McFlight's asked a question in the channel. I don't think there is there? You just flag yourself for PvP, which means you can PvP anywhere, but it's not full loot.
Correct. Yeah, there is no full loot in game, which I think is going to be healthy for the long run of the game. But yeah, no full loot at the moment. Like we don't know if it's coming or not, but at the moment, yeah, no looting other people's characters. But the more you kill someone, it becomes really hard for them to keep repairing their gear, as we found in the preview. It's a real pain. Yeah, back in the day it was full loot, but now I think the way they've gone is better for the larger population, which I think is good. Like a lot of the games that we've been as a community been getting involved in, like Last Oasis or Crowfall now, these full loot games have just not been right with the balance of players, I guess, and it's not sustainable.
It builds toxicity too in the community, like big time. Like full loot anything. Like you've seen it in Last Oasis. You see it in most games like that. It just builds a negative vibe to the game.
It's very, very competitive, isn't it? At that point, which is nice. Like we love being competitive, but
it's nice when you want to do that though. Like when you know that and that's the way the game is built, then it's nice. But for an MMO, it wouldn't be. Like putting all those hours in.
All's going to end with no sheeps. I mean, that is exactly where Last Oasis is, right? 30-odd thousand people at launch, really great atmosphere going through the game, and then you start killing off the people that can't keep up with either the PvP or the grind for gear, and now the population is practically nothing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Blaze wants to play again.
Right,
soon, brother, soon.
See how much damage we can take.
Look at me again. I just start kiting everything.
Sorry,
How much we can take.
Try and make this hard.
Oh,
I got lagged out of the game there.
Oh, we got the kite. We got the kite. Woo, shit.
And then the aggro switches to them. So I think whoever starts to do the most damage starts to take the aggro. I think. I'm not sure. I need to really understand it, but at this point, Evo and Ackley actually took the aggro.
The rest, ladies, let's go. Any more?
They don't have any taunt abilities in this, do they?
Evo mentioned there on one of the shields there's something that can aggro or something like that. I can't remember exactly what he said, but I think there's something in the game that has a taunt ability.
So Greasy Hands Gaming has said new gems have taunt.
Woohoo, cool. Shield bash move generates aggro. Brilliant.
So have taunt on all the beefcakes.
That's fantastic.
That's good. That's really good. Yeah.
Oh, the arrows in the head. Yeah. It's amazing seeing the arrows sat in his head.
yeah, that is cool.
We'll secretly. Go ahead. I was going to say we'll secretly get our crafters to make you a full set with max taunt on it and just let you run around while we watch and laugh.
Don't tell me.
Danny's like, why is everything attacking me? I think we absolutely need to do that, just for giggles. But I think, have you read so what Murty's said in chat? I think that's something that they could very easily implement later on in the game, right? And it would probably be pretty cool. It doesn't have to be a big area, but you could have like a small high zone area where you go in there at your peril, and if you die, you lose everything. So I think there's definitely ways that they could do this and make it work.
I would love that.
We were
Personally,
speculating, weren't we, about the other islands
Yeah.
type, and maybe
Yeah.
that's again down the line something that could be brought into the game. Like you sail to another island, knowing that if your ship crashes en route, it's gone forever, or if you die on that island, you know everything's gone from your character, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, things to think about for sure.
Oh, it's a boss.
I was looking up the
Oh, it's a boss.
Oh, it's like some sort of boss there.
Any ads? Any ads?
Oh, it just really annoys me watching it back with the lag. Sorry. There we go. We got two people got down then from this guy, and again we're sort of, if you remember, high level. So Rick and Lily both got dropped there. This is where I get smushed as well.
Oh, damn. Getting difficult.
NPC's wrecking you.
Yeah, it does some nice damage, and he's rapid. Look, like,
This is clearly a mini boss, right? Like before the end boss of the expedition, or is this the final boss?
No, it's the final. You'll see the final one's quite a big bloke.
Yeah. No, I like that. I like that they partitioned it. You know, you go through different stages into it to fight the main boss.
Oh, here we go. Oh, he stunned me big time. Get out of it. Ooh.
Wow.
much damage there.
Man going down.
You running away.
Yeah, just like purely running.
Instead
That's
of
very
running
cool.
to the healer for some
Oh,
heals,
don't
you're
understand.
running away.
So this was cool. So the boss
Keep the guy out.
spawned these things, like this move, and if you stand in the middle of it, which I clearly went and did, it like comes towards you and just annihilated me.
Oh, don't understand. Man down, man down. Evo.
I think you've got to avoid standing between the ghosts. They like run together. I think if you're in the middle of
Evo saving
Evo
you
teaching me
again.
how to play the game. Thanks, Evo.
You've got the aggro.
You
I've
don't
got
like
the
using
aggro.
healing
Where's Lily?
pots, do you?
I didn't use anything. No food, no healing, no nothing.
Dead, dead.
Falling asleep, mate.
I just pure panic and start running away.
Go to the regeneration point.
Start screaming and running.
Just have the
Right,
pots
what am I
and food in, like, you know,
Big tank.
1 and 2 slots or whatever it was.
They're there in
F1 F2.
quick bars, yeah. I don't think you see on the
Yeah.
right. Yeah, they're there. I just need to press 4, 5, and that's it.
There you go. Yeah.
Getting health, but that would be
No,
that would be
panic.
sensible.
Man, big tank.
Crazy's gonna be he's just gonna give up on doing expeditions with you and be like, I'm not healing Danny anymore. He's an idiot. He runs the wrong way.
I think like my old raid days make me lazy. So every time someone uses a skill, they would shout it at me or at the whole group. So it's like
Oh, I'm trying to get out of
there's a
it.
heal down, and they would scream it, so you know to look for it. During these moments here, there's so many colors. I just like in a trance of happiness and let it happen.
Sound when the,
Whatever happens, happens.
You can tell you didn't play like a light armor wearing character in the preview because you spent
Never.
most of your time having to stay at
Come
night
on, I
when
was out of
dodging
that.
stuff.
Shoo, shoo.
Pretty much in every game as well. I don't play any light armor classes.
Think about that.
Heal yourself. My God, man.
It is cool.
What we got healers for? What are you on about?
Rod's gonna love this.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I've got to use all my time on
Literally
doing damage.
Just healing you, like constantly healing you.
That was tough.
Like, who is this guy?
Great axe.
She carried me to a glorious victory. There you go. Thanks.
shiny.
So this is the final boss.
More like I'm the
This
bubble.
looks amazing.
This is where it gets real.
Get out of the way, mob. Oh, it's a big dude. Holy wicked.
I love how you've just been stood there looking around while they're dealing with the NPCs. You're like, I'm not helping. I'm a ranged hero. I'm not helping. I'm just looking at this. Pretty
Standing with your back turned to
Yeah.
the boss, like.
See, I think you could tell what was going through his brain as well. He was like, oh, shall I shoot the big boss and kite it now? Just to wreck everything.
Watch. Watch.
That skybox needs work.
Yeah, look.
Go.
Oh, wait.
I tried.
Nothing.
Ah,
So he has like his little animation, right? And then his health bar will come up. And then you can start attacking him. But I definitely tried to hit him, as you can see. There you go.
Yeah,
Wasn't
this might take a
Simon
while.
Gray part of those tweets a few weeks ago with the where
Yeah.
you went looking
So-
for Simon Gray and you got the wolf pet
So Barkamedes
Barkamedes?
was his pet, and then outside the dungeon is where the dog's sitting, waiting for his owner, which has now turned into this thing.
Ah, right. So then you free him and you get Barkamedes.
But basically, when we killed him, it was just like, well, you'll see, it was just like victory, and then you could still pet the dog outside. So I don't think you got anything.
Oh!
You didn't get a pet or anything like that.
Woo, damn! Get off me, mate!
So we're assuming though that like Simon Gray here has obviously been morphed into this monster.
Correct, yeah.
Holy jeez, he's faster than I can run. Nice.
He's poorly, like, he keeps throwing up.
Keeps chasing you.
I shouldn't have aggroed.
Get out of that healing, you know, standard.
Like who's this irritating fly?
Oh, big dodge.
It's actually really nice when you land the sort of dodge and he swipes behind you. It's like, oh yeah.
Oh, not again. Oh, he's put me on my butt.
Even when you get hit, it's pretty cool.
I love being flung in this game when you get hit.
Shit. I can't attack, I've got to run. Banabini!
Standard, just screaming the whole time, like not doing anything really. Oh, there we go. I used the pot there,
Big heals.
but then I got hit.
It saved you. It saved you. If you hadn't used that pot, that he would have killed you then.
You watch this back, Babini. You
You wouldn't have killed him or almost killed him if he used his food buff
I'm
neither.
fast as fuck, boy. You can't catch me.
I guess my role should be to just constantly keep damage.
Noted. Tight loves me. So definitely at level 25, he would be tough to fight, this guy.
Yeah.
And as you'll see shortly, Axley and Lily both get caught and beat down by him.
Knocked. I'm way too tired to fire back at you, bro.
It just feels really nice.
So,
It's like some
do you think this was
guy, maybe they'll do
based on this run through
Wow. I don't know,
and the
it
fact
feels
you
good.
didn't really pay attention to much? What do you think would be a good
Guess I'm
combination
still in that funny mood.
for this in the future?
As in, like,
What- In
classes.
terms, yeah, and what classes do you think would actually be good for this? Because I'm thinking this might not be the best fit out.
Whatever the normal amount of healers, triple it for Dan.
Yeah, but then you'll never kill any NPCs.
So we ended up beating Simon with a healer, me as a ranger or whatever you want to call me, and Evo, sort of tanky DPS, basically. So yeah, a damage dealer, a tanky guy, and a healer. You should be able to do this dungeon with 3 of you, based on how we beat this last boss. And outside of that, I guess, if it were me, I would take 2 more damage classes in. Just, big damage, basically.
So, I'm probably gonna be a noob by asking this, but why do the expeditions? Is there actually like a big XP gain that you get at the end of it? Or is it just all about the gear that drops?
From what they've said on the site, there is specific gear and specific things that you can get that drop only in the expeditions.
Okay.
Outside of that, you don't need to do them. We can completely skip them and not do them basically. I don't think there's a requirement to do them. It's just more content essentially.
Right.
Yeah, so Cap's pointed out the first aggro is really high, and then afterwards, because I'm running around not hitting it, the aggro gets pulled to someone else. And also, I don't know what Evo was running, but potentially he had one of the skills that you guys were talking about with pulling aggro, basically.
So he had a taunt on one of his bits of gear. So was Greasy... What's Greasy saying? Greasy Hands Gaming. I enjoyed the fight even with 230 seeing a little more than us 25-ish level tunes.
Nice. I mean, I've not met Greasy before. Nice to meet Greasy, so maybe he got to play through this too. There's quite a few of us who got invited, which was really nice. So even with 230s doing a little more than us. Oh, look at that beautiful headshot. You see that? I got the skills, man.
He's big enough. There's an issue if you're missing him, dude.
Not the big guy. So what? I did miss him a few times, to be fair. Love it, mate.
Come on, I dodged that.
So at this
Not
point,
lost anybody just yet, have we? No.
yeah. So Axley's outside here.
Stuck.
Ah, right.
See
And
her.
can't get back in.
Yeah, she's out until we
Right.
wipe, basically.
So it's kind of, it follows this. Well, not really actually. Now that I think about it, in the preview when we died up at that church, it wouldn't let us respawn. But I'm guessing now, given the fact that that would be fixed, it would probably spawn you on the other side. You know, where everybody was waiting, watching us do it.
Possibly, yeah.
It might just spawn you back there, maybe.
Also
Someone else
because
is dead now.
that was like a world event, I think. You know what I mean? It was like sort of an open world boss that you go
True,
to
true.
rather than
Yeah.
a particular exhibition. So maybe they're different mechanics. But yeah, we couldn't res Lily here, so she got. Pretty sure this is where she gets got.
We're in a bit of a struggle here. I love the spread shot though.
Now, could you not res her just because everybody stood around her and therefore the NPCs stayed there fighting you, and rather than you all running to the other side of the room?
Yeah, so now Evo's taken the aggro elsewhere.
Oh,
I can get Beanie up.
Oh, we are behind the door, yeah.
I remember you get hit, didn't you? Yeah.
Too many little...
See, that's weird there. Just that moment where the mob was hitting you and then it just was like, nope, and it just ran away.
Is it because the Evo's got the taunt though on them?
I love the spread shot.
So, like, is it it's a ranged taunt?
Or potentially because I don't know if I did any damage to him. Yeah, I did that. I just did damage to him there.
That was close.
Not sure. That's very strange, isn't it? He hits me once and then's like,
Yeah, and then he's just like, okay,
he's off.
bye.
He's just like, see ya. Yeah.
I think you actually get a dodge on him. I think you made him feel bad
Yeah,
about
but
him.
is it to do with the fact that all those NPCs appear to be like zerging around the boss?
Possibly
So
following.
there might have been like a radius for attack distance from the boss that they go back to being within.
Or distracted by shinies.
Need my rapier back, man. Okay, can I do a quick swap? 3, 2, 1, swap.
What class is Evo playing? Is he tanking?
Yeah.
No, because he's already
Thank you,
close.
DPS.
So
Vibes.
yeah, when you die,
You getting your
just get out of the boss
pokey
zone.
stick out.
Yeah. Got some nice AoE as well.
It's all about the stacks, isn't it, with the rapier? There's one,
Yeah.
2.
Oh yeah.
Not pop to pop, not pop to pop.
Oh, mate,
Danneh.
Beanie's got me covered. Pro healer.
I like that it was kind of easy up until now, and then it's like, hey, big beast, Simon Gray.
That's how it was as well on here, so yeah.
Yeah. Damage. No damage coming out. Better. We like a bit of that.
Does Captain play ESO?
I think he used to, yeah.
That's my game, Cap.
First tanking the boss. What a legend. Get out of it.
Another achievement for the humans.
Doesn't view it, more important things. Missing your shots.
Danneh invited into, a nice exclusive dungeon. Doesn't learn anything.
Stuck in a place I shouldn't be.
Oh, nice.
Let's go,
Nice.
I played the game, yay!
Yay! Try and protect our healer.
Dan hit some shots. There we go.
Pretty much all on Beanie, isn't it, really?
Pretty much. Beanie carried this.
Beanie keeping Evo alive. Stop you getting killed.
This does damage. I like this.
My Legolas voice. Great.
We got this.
That Lego ass.
There is a play dead move on the musket, isn't there? Like, is that still in the game?
I'd love to tell you, but I have no idea. I'll have to check the New World fans website. It's still there.
Well, before anyway, there used to be a move where when you activated it, it give you the death animation. You used to fall down onto the ground, and then you could aim while you were dead, and then quickly get up and shoot somebody. Like,
That's cool.
it's actually really good.
No one played Firestar, which is unfortunate. So we don't know if the Firestar, like the Rain of Fire spell, work, because it doesn't usually work when you've got a ceiling above you. So that would be slightly annoying. I'm assuming in this room it will work because it looks like it's an open sky, but in other parts of this dungeon there's ceiling, right? So you can't drop the Rain of Fire, whatever it's called now.
Yeah, some big old ceilings in it. Well, actually, when we looked up at the start, I don't think there was a ceiling as such. It was just like this massive explosion. So hopefully,
Okay, so maybe it is open. Yeah, that'd be useful.
Let's go, Evo. Let's go.
You're gonna land some of those rapier strikes.
Or those bow shots.
shoot him in the foot, doing good things.
Literally just fencing with your shadow.
Next time, Dan, you're doing these promo things, I'm sure you need to get yourself some aimbot or something going. At least, I mean, just while the preview.
Get in, straight in there for the loot as well. Quick, give me the loot.
I didn't realise I did that. I don't think I looked at it. I just picked it up. Look.
Exactly.
You're like, I get it before
Grab
anybody
it.
else.
I want it. Grab it. Yoink.
So that was the Amrine Excavation Expedition, New World's entry-level dungeon. It'd be awesome to hear what you guys think about it, what you did like, what you didn't like. And as always, don't forget, come along on Wednesday evening to my Twitch. We do a little show called New World Wednesdays where we pretty much
Just
talk New World and
go back on
get
that loot
excited
there
about the
real
release.
quick
So yeah, come over and say hey.
when this is finished.
It's fine. It's just me talking rubbish. when he
When
did shoot them.
just before you snagged it, you can see what it's there, or what is there.
Oh, Simon Gray's toothpick.
Ooh, good to know you didn't even look at it.
I didn't. This is the first time I've seen it.
Okay, so just from that, it doesn't look like there's any sort of like material. I was
Simon's
hoping
Grey
this.
toothpick a rapier?
I'm guessing. I
Think so.
mean,
So it's probably a decent item though at level 25. So it'd be
possibly.
worth doing.
And is this is another question you probably don't even know, Dan, but that loot, is that global for everybody in there, or is that now that you pick that up, does nobody else
Oh
get
yeah.
it?
No, it's your own. Everyone gets their own drops,
Okay.
which is nice and friendly.
Yeah, that's cool. No squabbling over loot.
Yeah, pretty much.
Stop knocks. And it would be amazing if the loot sort of linked to what you're actually wearing your character and stuff, so people like Nox don't get really important mana regeneration rings when they're like a melee character, and then they just hoard it for the rest of the game. Hey, it's lucky that didn't happen.
There was talks around that, wasn't there? Again, we've gone through so many patch notes, I can't remember exactly what's what, but there was talks, I believe, around that. So we'll have to refresh our memory, but potentially there might be those scenarios too.
Went to good use in your storage container. God, I don't know.
So, I mean, that's kind of our run through for tonight. We were going to finish up if anyone here has any questions that we might be able to answer. As you've well seen, that I don't actually know too much. I just had a great time. That's all I can tell you. It's great fun. If there's any other questions we might be able to answer regarding New World, fire them our way. I got in the background.
Well,
I've just seen that someone on YouTube has put up himself sort of walking through all the different worlds. So this soundtrack you can hear in the background is from Everfall. Pretty cool.
Apex on my stream asked, could you infiltrate a dungeon and steal the loot? I don't think so.
Negative.
No.
I believe you have to be part of a party to get involved in that particular instance.
Yeah.
What did you have to have a specific item to get into that dungeon?
No, just be level 25. And they introduced today actually like the player interactions. Again, sort of future patch notes for us to discuss, but you can basically vote kick someone from the party if they're not.
Do we think these dungeons are going to just get camped then?
You mean like from PvP or something?
No, well, no, for like, because is it queued on a timer? Because I remember in preview there were a couple of high level areas, well, not high, there were a couple of there was an area that was level 25 that had epic level 25 NPCs, and it was just off the starter, where we all started by the sea. I can't remember the bloody name of it now, southwest of Everfall, and there was that level 25 area just around the cliff. You could run through the mangrove swamp and then up part of a cliff, and then you got into that area, and that was on a timer, so you could run it, kill all the creeps, and then wait like 10 minutes and it would respawn and you could run it again. So are the dungeons going to be instanced, i.e. you can all go to that location and get into your own independent dungeon and run it, or is it going to be one dungeon?
Yeah, they're instant.
Yeah, cool, okay.
Because when we started, there was a lot of people going in different groups, so it's all party based. So you team up with your group of 3 or 5 or however many you need or want, and head into that dungeon together, basically.
Sweet. So we haven't been through the patch notes that dropped today. We're currently 2 sets of patch notes behind. So we've got the massive patch note from last month to go through, which we reckon will probably be the next 2 weeks of New World Wednesday, and then this patch note that dropped today will be that 3rd week. So whenever that is, what?
Correct. Yeah. We tried to keep these down to an hour long, but every time we go to about an hour and a half, 40 minutes, which time just flies.
Or 2 hours.
When you're having fun with your mates, you know, it's lovely, great fun. But yeah, as Ped said, probably in a couple of weeks' time, officially on our chat, but always on Discord. We're talking about things that are current in our community chat and whatnot. Ooh.
Ooh, well, we get accused of being a Zerg regardless, so
I'm really hoping so. I'm especially like, imagine if we come across a company similar size to ours and we were having even battles all the time. We could definitely arrange heading out into open world to fight each other. But so go on.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, like, the faction control points now will hopefully bring these things about. So hopefully people run around together, and hopefully there is these scenarios where there is a group of 20v20 or more, 60v60 that just clash, and it's going to be glorious.
If I could be so bold, if Play New World is still in chat, is there any talks at all about the clan sizes or the company sizes increasing? That's all I want to ask. That's all I want to ask.
Sneaky. I think it's missing something rewarding. Good AoE combo regarding. So there's a lot of sort of AoE skills there. So for example, the bow has the poison AoE and things like that. So I think.
Fantastic. Greg Meister.
Fantastic.
Playing it cool. Not telling you anything, Tai.
Brilliant. So there's definitely like a scenario where you can use AoE skills to, you know, if we had 4 or 5 AoE abilities and we had 20 enemies trying to cap a control point, and we all pushed in at the same time and all target focused our skills. I talk about Guild Wars plays a lot, so hopefully there's going to be those scenarios for sure. And everyone always laughs at me. Obviously, I'm running outside of the healing and the buffs. You know, using Discord to scream at each other and bring in, you know, comms. So like, there's a healing field going down in 5 seconds. You know, wake the hell up. Make sure you're looking and be around for that. But I don't think there's combos. Yeah, absolutely shot call him. Absolutely. But I don't think there's going to be combo skills, as far as I'm aware. Like, you can't put down a water field and blast it to heal your mates, sort of thing. But I don't think that's available, which is quite nice in a way. Yeah, I mean, I think that's it, boys. GG. Thank you for coming. Yeah. Does anyone have any friends online that we want to raid together and go and say hey while we're all here?